Hey, welcome to a special edition of PraiseCharts Live. It's me, Ryan Dahl, with Jason Kickline from OnSong. And let me tell you how excited I am about this. I was just literally leading worship last week, and here is my iPad. I love this little iPad. And it looks like a white screen, but I'm telling you, there is OnSong on there. I love OnSong. Here's the challenge is, of course, I love PraiseCharts. I mean, we have tons of music there. I love OnSong, but the world between them has been such a challenge for me for so many years. I mean, I'm copying chord charts. I'm, transposing them, putting them into OnSong, cleaning them up. It's like a mess. All of that is about to change with what we are announcing today in this big news between OnSong and PraiseCharts. And I have Jason right here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to show you exactly his iPad with OnSong 22. And somehow PraiseCharts is right inside it all. It's so beautiful. It's so awesome. It looks amazing. It acts awesome. Get ready to go with Ryan Dahl, myself, and Jason Kick. Jason.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. Okay, you know what? I'm having a little bit of like stargaze right now because there are some very famous people in this world that I have interviewed, but maybe you're not quite so famous, but you're very personally impacting to my life. So to me, you're a superstar. And I'm loving what we're going to be presenting today in this cooperation between PraiseCharts and OnSong. Are you excited?
I am so excited about this. I think it was during one of the Worship Innovator conferences that we
Yes.
did. We were going to do it live, and then the pandemic hit, and then we did it virtually, which was great. It was an awesome experience. And you had said, I'm using OnSong right there on, the music that we had, the virtual band that we
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah.
But it's so challenging to put PraiseCharts on there, and that got us talking.
Yeah.
And my original goal, as I was talking to Isaiah, and I said, I want to dress up in a Santa Claus costume and bring Ryan a present for Christmas. That was my goal.
Oh
We
man.
didn't quite hit that, and I'm
No.
not dressing up like an Easter bunny. I'm not going to do that. But I think it's a neat little Easter egg that we put together here for you.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, well, we're going to go like right inside this, but I thought before we do this, I was just going to give people just a little, maybe this is going too deep, but I just want people to kind of comprehend that in the world of PraiseCharts is built on this entire digital engine where we keep all the songs, we record all the royalties, we track everything, every single song. There's a percentage of that goes to the artist, the publisher. We have to, it's a mess load of data. It's this whole engine. And so how we have built PraiseCharts is we made this back end and then we build what's called a front end. That's the whole website of PraiseCharts. I'll just show you right here. This is what PraiseCharts looks like right now. There you are, live with OnSong. So this
Nice.
PraiseCharts is built based on our back end. But now here's the beautiful thing, Jason, is that we have given you access to our entire back end, and then you can get creative inside OnSong and make PraiseCharts, the guts of it, show up inside OnSong. So we're going to show you the synchronized action of it's like the same data, the same songs with two minds, two different visions, two different applications of the same thing coming through and working hand in hand. So I guess the main thing I wanted to say is now with what we're going to show you, whatever you're doing in PraiseCharts, whatever is in your account, the exact song you've downloaded, the key, the changes, the edits, all that kind of stuff, it's available at the very same time in the same way in PraiseCharts and in OnSong. Is that right, Jason?
That's right. Yeah. Because your website is beautiful, it works great. But if I'm on stage and I have OnSong running, and I need a song, what am I going to do? I can't run to
Yeah.
my computer,
Yeah.
download it, email it. What am I going to do? And so now I can literally, like, right inside of where I view my songs, I can
Yeah.
import those songs right from PraiseCharts,
I know.
which is beautiful. And not just chord charts. I mean, I can import sheet music. We have
Yep.
4-part harmonies there. You got, you have a trumpet player. It's all ready to go.
Yeah.
So I don't
And
know. Do
I
you think
think
we should show them?
we should. I was just gonna say that the thing I do love about this is OnSong is made for on the stage. So like of course, when I'm on stage leading worship, I don't have time to log into Praise Charts and navigate through all of that. I just want to like tap and have the music just show up. So you've made an application that is made for the stage. And I love that. So man, if I had a drum roll button, I would like click it right now. I should have put some sound effects, but I'm
You
gonna
should have told
go.
Dakota.
Yeah. Now
There
this
we go.
doesn't
It's
look
not.
that
Yeah. So
exciting yet, but you're gonna show us kind of this new thing. It's OnSong 2022. You have to download, right, a new version of OnSong to get this.
yeah, OnSong 2022. It's a free
Mm-hmm.
app. You can access Praise Charts through the free app.
Yeah.
Or you can subscribe. We got all kinds of features that are stage ready, from lyrics projection to controlling your stage lights, working with your MIDI stuff. I mean, OnSong does a whole bunch of things for you on the stage, depending on what you need. But I'm just going to tap on the songs button here. We've redesigned our songs menu. We've just had a live stream yesterday to kind of go over a lot of that. We're not going to do that today, but we can organize our library in a bunch of different ways here. So if you have thousands of songs, you can create a set, do all that. But I'm just going to take a look at all songs here. This is every song in my library. Again, it's always organized, right? Because it's digital. We know the title, we know the artist, we know the key, all that stuff. But if I wanted to import a song, all I have to do is tap on the plus button down here at the bottom. And you can see right there in our list, we got lots of ways that you can use music. Everybody uses different stuff, different places. But there's Praise Charts right there. So I'm going to tap on Praise Charts, and we were just talking about what it looks like on the website. Well, right here, I'm logged in. I'm already signed in, and I can look at my library. My library is everything that I've already purchased on Praise Charts. Anything that, any product that I've gotten downloaded, it shows up
I'm
here.
just going to show that right here because this is my library in Praise Charts, and then boom, that's what yours looks like in OnSong, right? Same kind of thing.
Right.
The songs
similar tastes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We both like Charity Gale. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason might be, but if I tap on catalog, this is going to show me all the popular songs in Praise Charts.
Yeah.
And I think she was up there in the list not too long ago.
She definitely was.
But I can also just as easily come in here and do a search, so I'm trying to think, one of the songs that I'm hoping to do here soon is Gratitude. So I'm just going to do a search for Gratitude, and up comes Brandon Lake. Now, one of the things I noticed, so I had already downloaded and purchased his one version. So if I just toggle over to my library, it shows the version that I have. So you can go back and forth between what you have and what you don't have just by tapping right there. So, yeah. Then if I wanted to download that, I tap on it. We're going to see beautiful album artwork here. And I think that's really important because, sometimes you're doing a song and you're not sure what version. If you go to different websites, it's like, okay, what recording are we using here? Is it the Phil Wickham version? Is it the Maverick City version? But no, I want the Brandon Lake version, right? So here it is, and I can scroll down, and this is the coolest thing with Praise Charts. Not only can I get a chord chart, chords and lyrics, they also have stage charts available, which are free. I mean, so if you just need the chords, I'm not trying to, but you made it available, and I think that's wonderful to make sure that you're playing it the right way. Or look at this, I can download all this sheet music. Now, if you're from Praise Charts, this, right? All this is available to you.
It's all right there.
Look,
you can see it. Same stuff.
Yeah. But for OnSong users, this is kind of brand new, right?
Right.
So anyway, and not only that, but you can also get audio tracks, so accompaniments, multi-tracks. OnSong doesn't support multi-tracks yet, so we're working on that. Anyway, but one of the things that I really like about this is chords and lyrics is right up front. I've already purchased it. It's not that expensive. And I can just download the Chord Pro version of this chart right here. I could just hit import, and it's going to go out to PraiseCharts, and it's going to bring it in. Now, it looks like I think I already had this version, so it actually undeleted it and put in a little thing here, what we have called clips. I'm just going to delete that real quick. So that. There we go. I come right back over. But if I, didn't want just the Chord Pro is great because it's a text-based chord chart. We could do all kinds of things with that in OnSong, like lyrics projection. We can tap on the chords and see how to play them on different instruments. There's all kinds of things you can do with text-based chord charts in OnSong. But PraiseCharts has beautiful PDF files as well. So if I wanted like a 2-column version of that same chart in the key that it's written in B, I could hit import, and behind the scenes, what it's doing is it's actually attaching that to the song Gratitude in my library. So I can import different versions of that song, just by doing this repeatedly. And when I come over here to my song viewer, you can see I have different attachments, different versions of that song, and I can switch in between those just by tapping on them. Like that. Did you catch all that?
Yeah,
I might be going too quick there because it's so fast, So, and it's not just versions of the 2-column chart, but it can also be, trumpet, it could be vocals, it could be anything you want like that.
Yeah.
And so
I was going to say something about Chord Pro. This has been my experience. Now, Chord Pro isn't a language that PraiseCharts invented. It's and maybe you can show in OnSong what we mean when we're talking about Chord Pro. If you go to the edit mode of the chart that you had before, that would be good, because I just want people to understand this so it doesn't blow their minds. Chord Pro is this text coding kind of language that is specifically for writing chord charts. Can you go to the edit version of that chart? Yep.
Yeah.
So
then right in there, that's the Chord
There
Pro.
we go.
It's got some characters in there to tell you the title, the artist, things like that. The key, tempo, time, and then of course where the chords are as well. So OnSong has a full editor inside of it. You can go in here if you need to change some words or chords or whatever, you can do that as well.
Yeah. So in the PraiseCharts world, we've spent a lot of time building our own engine that interprets Chord Pro files. That's how we make those beautiful PDFs in 2-column and 1-column and text only. It's all just based off a single Chord Pro file, and then we write code to interpret that. One of the challenges, Jason, is that we've made kind of like our own way of interpreting those Chord Pro files, but then when we take it, say in the past, and I've dumped it into OnSong 2020, the Chord Pro file hasn't looked that amazing because you don't interpret some of the slash files, some of the slash characters and backslashes and things like that as well. But in 2022, you've done the work of making these charts look so amazing and so clear, and then even customizable as far as you can make your chords green or, with a highlighter, or you make your words bigger or smaller, or all these different options that we don't even have in PraiseCharts. So kudos to you for making beautiful chord charts.
Yeah. And honestly though, I'm actually looking at this and I love the PraiseCharts layout as well.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is I can choose what I want to use. And the other thing that we've put a lot of time into as well, and this is kind of fun, but if I come over here, I can turn on something called low light mode. And now we can take that PDF file. And if you're on that dimly lit stage, you're not having all that light, kind of, you said in the beginning of the broadcast, the screen looks completely white. Well, you can actually do the low light mode here as well. And that retains all of your colors, like the PraiseCharts logo as well.
Yeah. I think if I was using this, I would probably use the PraiseCharts 2-column view if I had my iPad turned vertical and I was playing piano, so that I had a reference of pretty much the whole song right there, right in front of me in 2 columns. That would make sense to me. But if I was leading worship and needed to reference lyrics while I'm standing up and the stand is further away, I might be looking to a 1-column version so that the lyrics are bigger and I can see sort of a continuous flow of the chart. Whether you use the PraiseCharts 1 column or the OnSong kind of Chord Pro version, it's going to be easier to read. So, but I
Right.
do
Yep.
love, yeah.
And here's, so with the, oh, hold on, I'm not going to hit that button there. One of the things that we can do also is have, our chords and lyrics show up as well. So with if you had like lyrics projection and stuff like that. So, with that Chord Pro, we can take that and render that out onto the projector. So if you're doing
Yeah.
a house church or a small worship service, you don't need to lug out the entire, Pro
Yeah.
Presenter rig. With an Apple TV, you can hook this to your TV or a projector
Yeah.
and run your entire worship service right from a single iPad on stage.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You know, something I like about this too is I can really personalize this to my own needs as a musician. Like, for example, if I was leading worship and I know this is pretty much a 4-chord song, like this song, Gratitude, it's C, A minor, G, F over and over and over and over again. Once I get that in my
Right.
brain, really, I don't need the chords that big. So I might choose to make the chords smaller. I might not go with the highlight color. I would just make them blue or something, and I would make the lyrics bigger because as a worship leader, I like that turquoise blue actually. If you want to, if this is kind of like my own preferred. See that right there? That's how I would design my chord charts. Just knowing me as a musician, I know how to play this song. I just need to know what the lyrics are, and they look beautiful there, and a nice reference to the chords still are in there. So there's lots of variety of how you can apply, and you can even actually make a template out of that, can't you? So once I have that design, I can say make all my charts look like this.
Yep. So we can go in and actually save that for future songs or apply that to existing
Yeah.
songs in my library. So you can go through
Yeah.
and say, I love the way this looks. I want everything to look that way. Yep.
Yeah. I feel a little bit sheepish because you have taken the guts of PraiseCharts and in some ways you're making it better through OnSong. I'm a bit jealous. So I
Well,
love this.
and honestly, we started working with the API, and this is one of the things that I love doing. Is working together with other like-minded companies that are just looking, how can we make worship easier for
Yeah.
worship leaders so that
Yeah.
the Lord can be praised anywhere, and
Yeah.
if there's one person who wants to worship, we want to enable them, give them some technology to help them do it. But when I saw that API and I realized, oh, PraiseCharts has all these different versions of the song that could be used, and OnSong up until version 2022 only supported a text-based version and a single PDF file. That's all that we had, and so we actually had to. You guys pushed us to add this new feature for attachments.
Right. Yeah.
We weren't even going to do it until we started doing PraiseCharts, and I said, man, this is going to be so amazing. Let's just go all the way. And that's what we did with attachments. So now I'm super excited about that. And I don't know if we showed this, but if we're looking at that 2-column layout, and I go back over here to my chords, you can see I have all these keys up there that I could transpose into. I could just tap on E flat, and it's actually has a little spinner, and it's going up to PraiseCharts, and it's downloading the E flat chart and putting it into my attachments. So next time I want to play that song, let's say in C or in B, you can see it's instantaneous. It's just going right out to my attachments. It's already downloaded and giving me the right version.
See, this is an example of the experience you want to have while you're on stage. Like maybe during the offering or something, and the pastor is like whispering to you saying, hey, can we do gratitude? Because I realized it's Thanksgiving and I didn't even realize that till now. And we need to do a Thanksgiving song or whatever it is, It's like, oh, I can make this change right here, right now. And I know you even have back-end ways to disperse this music, like through wireless connection to your team, so that everybody's on the same page. And perhaps you're going to be progressing more. I know we're progressing more in that direction to be more team-based in our whole mindset, so that you're downloading music and you can legally disperse that music to your team. And know that the copyrights and all that kind of stuff are being taken care of. So yeah.
Yeah. So I know PraiseCharts, you can obviously pay for copies of the music
Yeah.
and things like that. And on our side, we just have come out with group subscription. So one of our goals is to take the price of OnSong and bring that price down through our subscriptions. And one of the ways to do that is if you are a church, which I imagine you are if you're watching this
Yeah.
broadcast, you can subscribe and have 10, multiple people on your team. Everybody can have OnSong Premium all for one low price. And then, of course, the church is paying for that. And so
Yeah.
now take that. And one of the things that we're going to be working on here shortly is how to take your library for your church and make that available to everybody on the team.
Yeah.
And working with PraiseCharts and making sure that's all done
Yeah.
on the up and up. That's what we're about. And so, a lot of times I think technology moves a little faster than the making sure we're keeping everything working. And that PraiseCharts has done a wonderful job at that over the years, making sure that we're making great content and getting it out there in ways that help the artist and pay the bills.
Yeah. Just like I want to explain some of the back end to this kind of collaboration. Jason and I are both a part of this group called the Worship Innovators. And like companies like Loop Community, Loop, Matt McCoy from Loop, even OnSong from the CCLI world, they're a part of the Worship Innovators. What are some other Sunday Sounds? David Salzgraf, who does all the main stage stuff, worship tutorials. There's just a bunch of great-minded, innovative, somewhat indie. Like most of us are not high-level corporate kind of people. We're just sort of like either in home offices or small spaces, and we just want to get stuff done. But this is what's unique about us, Jason, is we all kind of compete. Like, I sell chord charts, you sell a chord chart engine. Obviously, Song Select sells chord charts, Loop sells multi-tracks. But we've just decided that we're going to celebrate each other and uplift each other and work together because we believe that we want to function like that as an expression of our faith and our commitment to the church. We want to demonstrate to the church that we're not just in this for the business. We're in this to serve the church together. So, I hope Matt McCoy and David Salzgraf and, other guys who are part of our Worship Innovators can watch this video and just like high five each other that this is what we want to be doing, is collaborating. I see someone, Luke Fox, I'll just actually put up his comment here, or Juke Fox actually says, congratulations on the collaboration. They love that. And of course we love that. So we're really excited to put that heart behind what we're doing together. So
yeah. I like to call that a kingdom-minded, mentality, where we're saying, hey, God has given us each different talents and abilities and experiences, and He wants us all to work together, right? I mean, it's like the Book of Acts. Like, how do we put this all together, and how do the pieces fit? And that's the fun part, right? I mean, so if we made this all business all the time, like that wouldn't be a lot of fun. We'd just be stressed out all the time. But just the fact that we're able to come in and bless others and work with great people, like yourself. I had a blast working with Isaiah on the whole API. We collaborated, and I think we continue to push each other too a little bit. Like not just with wow, I really like that 2-column layout. I wonder if I can do that. But also, like Juke had just put up, like, hey, is there some other ways that we can collaborate? Some other ways. So sometimes, with OnSong, we just put out this new version, and now we have people saying, can you do this, that, and the other thing? And it's just, okay, back to the drawing board. We're going to continue to add new functions and features.
Yeah. Totally agree with that. So, and this is an exciting thing that we're trying to convey too, is this isn't just a one-stop announcement. Now you're seeing the two of us wanting to continue to progress. We're going to continue to, push each other towards more innovation. Our team is developing new ideas. We're both even on side with this whole team approach to your app, to PraiseCharts. We want to work cooperatively together like that. And I mean, just to kind of put it out there on the table, is like, we haven't bought OnSong. OnSong didn't buy PraiseCharts. We're not becoming like business partners. It's like we're both fully independent companies. When you buy music from OnSong, from PraiseCharts music, it's all actually fully coming from PraiseCharts. That was really important to us. Is it's not like you're going to OnSong and buying music and then there's this kind of like sub layer thing. It's like you're actually experiencing PraiseCharts directly inside OnSong. So it's there's a lot of integrity to the system, right? I wanted to convey
Yeah, and the
that.
great thing is, we're one thing we believe in OnSong is we don't want to lock you in, So if you, let's say you
Hmm.
want to use a different app, or you had to use a different app or whatnot, you could still go to PraiseCharts and download your charts and use them how you need to, So
Yeah,
that's the other great thing with that. We just want to make sure that we're helping the worship leader, not ourselves, if that
right.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Unless I'm a worship leader, then I'm going to build it to make it work for me, right?
right, right. Yeah, I love it. Well, man, there's so much to it. Maybe let's just do like a little recap before we kind of wrap up here, because we've given a nice overview, definitely conveyed the heart of OnSong and PraiseCharts working together. So pretty much just again, you can see there's the same song. That's PraiseCharts, Gratitude, the same chord chart. If I was to literally go over here and like he was saying, with the stage chart, I could purchase that. I'm actually just doing this on PraiseCharts right now. And oh, I'm getting the spinner. Oh, there it is. Boom. So I bought the stage chart and now I own it. Now maybe you should just do the same thing on OnSong, even though we're on different accounts,
Oh yeah.
and then we can
Oh,
see
right,
that,
right, right.
right? So
I forgot we
that's
were on different accounts there.
and if some of you don't know what these stage charts are, it's like we're trying to make charts for all kinds of musicians, and a stage chart is really for someone who says, I don't need the lyrics. I'm not actually leading worship. I'm just playing in the back line of the band. I don't need to know all the notes because I know how the song goes. I just want to know the basic chord progressions of the song, and I'm good to go. I personally am a musician like that. I would use a chart like this, which is, of course, why I made them. So, and we make them free because, we've got some cooperation with some of the great music publishers out there who are also willing to work with PraiseCharts to help us get these musics out. So yes, these are still copyrighted pieces of music. They are still attached to the artist, but we're able to, at least for a time like now, to make them for free. And if I go over to OnSong, I don't know, did you get
Yeah,
it?
I'm just
Does it come up?
I'm going to tap on the stage chart here. Well, they're different accounts, but if
Yeah,
we're the same account, it would just show up. Oh, look, I already own that because it's free,
yeah.
right? So I should be able to
Let's see if
just
it works.
grab it then. Let's see. Oh boy, see, we went off script, and here we go. Let me pick a different song here.
Okay.
We're gonna load my catalog here.
And anybody listening, we're live here on OnSong's Facebook, on PraiseCharts Facebook, PraiseCharts YouTube. So if you've got any questions, I don't mind bringing them up. I got a question here. We can just take them as we're going. But Ken's asking, is OnSong on Android yet? So I don't know if you want to answer that while we're doing this here,
They always
Jason.
ask that question. So,
Yeah.
so one of the things we're doing, obviously, is moving. We have already moved to a subscription model, and one of the
Mm-hmm.
reasons for that is OnSong's been in active development since 2010. Actually, in 2 weeks, we will be 12 years old. So we came out in 2010 with the original iPad. But the trouble is, we've added so many great features and functionality that to do that on Android would probably take us another 12 years. So with the
Oh,
subscription, we will be able to start bringing your band members in on Android. And then, of course, share some of this beautiful music like PraiseCharts as well. So,
yeah.
but without all the wonderful features right away.
Right.
So
There
there we
you
go.
go.
I mean, we have the beautiful name stage chart. I'm going to import the numbers chart. And I don't know. I think this is the one that I bought everything for. So if I went into orchestration, here I can get all kinds of things. Maybe I need
Oh,
the piano sheet music, or I have a trumpet player coming in, so I can hit that button. And then, of course, if I tap on attachments over here, all those files that I just imported are there. I can view it in different keys and number charts and stuff like that.
beautiful. Beautiful. And I
Yeah.
love this whole black background thing. I mean, if I'm sitting in my office or in my studio and just playing for myself, I'd probably want a white piece of music. But if I'm on stage and, the light is low, I don't want that white glare on my face shining back on me from an iPad. So especially, I mean, it's nice with lyric. It's a little bit odd with the sheet music. Just in my brain is like, oh, I'm not used to that. But definitely with lyrics and the chords, it's very beautiful.
One thing that a lot of people don't think about. So I think it's like 10% of the population has what's called a visual stress disorder, and so sometimes looking at this, bright white background with black text, things can float around. It's actually hard to read. If we just tap on sky over here, now we've just taken a blue filter and added that to the piece of paper.
Yeah.
And that actually fixes the problem for people that have this disorder. Can also affect those that have dyslexia and different visual disorders can be fixed by that little trick right there.
Yeah. Couple other questions coming in. John's asking, can OnSong do a page turn for music in addition to scrolling down? Is that possible?
Yeah. So OnSong, and we're obviously always trying to improve things, but if you have a PDF chart and you use like a foot pedal or a page turner, or if I tap on the screen, it's going to scroll down to the second half of the page and then to the top of the second page.
Right.
And so that's the way OnSong was kind of built, because we do have an auto scroll function as well. So it gets really weird. If you wanted to kind of do a teleprompter mode and you had to flip between pages, you can very easily lose where you're at. But if you did use a foot pedal, like an air turn or page flip or anything like that, it would do the same thing. And now if I was in portrait landscape or portrait orientation, then it would do one page at a time. So OnSong's smart enough to figure out, which ends up essentially.
Yeah. And we're doing this presentation with it in, landscape mode, just as better for our video purposes. But usually you'd probably have the music in portrait mode. So that'd be good. A couple other questions coming. So I have OnSong Pro. Do I only need to download OnSong 22 if I want to use PraiseCharts? Like, someone's going, is it really this easy? It can't be that easy.
Yeah. So one of the things that we, felt very strongly about is, if you bought OnSong back in 2010, I think it was $4.99. You have OnSong 2020. So throughout the last 12 years, you've had every feature and function that we've ever thrown at you for free, essentially. Because OnSong 2022 is such a departure in how we're going to start managing music, we have to change all the stuff underneath. So PraiseCharts integration is only available in OnSong 2022. I said that right. So, but you would have to download a separate app to do that then. It is a free download, and like I said, you could actually use OnSong 2022 for free. You can import up to 30 songs into it. Use PraiseCharts just the way we've seen here. But if you did want to access other features, that is a subscription on top of that.
Right. I will also add that you do need to update your operating system of your iPad, because I just tried it on my iPad this morning, and it was asking for version 15 at least. So you can't have an outdated operating system. Is that right?
Yeah. No, yeah, we had it working with iOS 14. And then, because OnSong is integrated with a number of different platforms like Google's notorious for this. Right at the last minute, they kind of threw us a curveball. And so we said, if you can run iOS 14, you could run iOS 15. There is, any device that can run iOS 14 can run 15. Yeah. And we thought, let's just start with a fresh slate here, because iOS 16 is coming out here in a couple months. So it would require an upgrade of your operating system.
Yeah.
And I think, this is a good time to mention this, because, if you're in church production at all, that you probably don't want to do that, Ryan, right before you go on stage.
Right? Yeah, right.
So if you're updating your operating system, if you're updating Pro Presenter or any software, treat it like, I just got a new instrument somebody put in my hand. Am I willing to plug in and know that it's going to work the moment I step on stage? No, you'll probably practice with it first, right? So make sure you have time to do all these changes before Sunday morning, if at all possible.
Okay, a couple other questions just firing in here, and I'll come back to your iPad if you want to show. But can you locate a song in alphabetical order? We're just gonna like fire questions at you, Jason. You better know how to use your app to answer these. So,
Wait, what was that? What was that?
can you locate a song in alphabetical order?
Oh yeah, hold on a second here. So we have all kinds of tricks here. Let me show you. If I go to all songs, I
Yeah,
have everything actually already is in alphabetical order. But one of the things
right.
that we've added is alphabetic attributes. And so I can just tap on B and see all the songs that start with the letter B, just like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
I
yeah, I
will
mean,
say,
there's other ways to look at that as well. But
I would just say this is if the question was suggesting praise charts, if you're searching through praise charts in alphabetical order, we don't really offer that because I mean we have
uh,
25,000 songs. So you don't want to do an alphabetical ordering of 25,000 songs or it would be, crazy. So just search for the song that you want and
yeah,
boom,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, and I think in OnSong, if you just purchase a song in Praise Charts, that's going to be at the top of your list. I think that
Yeah.
does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we don't have a way to sort. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But once
Okay,
it's
next.
imported, then you can do whatever you want.
That's right. Okay, can legacy users continue using OnSong app without the monthly subscription? That's a good question.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good question. So, one of the things we felt strongly about, we didn't want to be one of those app companies that say, hey, congratulations. Now, to use the app that you had, you have to get a subscription. We don't want to force anybody to do that. So, if you had OnSong 2020 and you bought that app, even at $5 way back when, you can continue to still use that with your iPad. And in fact, we're going to continue to do updates as well, so that keeps running on newer versions of iOS, security updates, things like that.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely expect that you can continue to do that. Now we have a lot of things on our plate that we're going to be coming out with over the course of the next year and continue to come out with, and that will be a subscription. So to get those features, you would need to have that OnSong subscription. Again,
Right.
there are ways to save lots of money there, especially group subscription. It goes down to like $1.33 per user per month.
Wow.
So that's like a cup of coffee, I think,
Yep. Yep.
even with inflation.
Okay. Feature request, future
Oh
request,
boy.
which I think you meant feature maybe, but how about allowing to build chords with a partial capo? I don't know. Does it?
So Ryan, you're a keys player, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you play guitar at all?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah.
understand capos.
Oh.
I'm trying to wrap my head around partial capos,
Oh yeah.
cut capos and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, we are aware of cut capos. I think it's a couple people use them, probably more than I know.
Yeah.
There's definitely room for improvement in how OnSong especially handles chord diagrams
Mm-hmm.
and those different tunings. And so that would kind of fall into the same category, I think, when
Mm-hmm.
you're basically changing the tuning on specific strings. So yeah, we have our work cut out for us, but that's why we love our users that keep pushing us to do bigger and better things.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Is there a way for different band members to share live in different keys? For example, key and guitar that's using a capo to more than one device. So I guess what the person is saying, I'm
Oh,
playing the song in B flat, I'm playing guitar in G, capo on 3, my piano is playing
mhm.
in B flat. How can that synchronize?
Yes. Well, let me show you. So
Okay.
one of the things that you can do here, let me go back to, I'll just pick this song. We're not going to do this live because I don't have any other iPads, but I'm going to tap on the share button here. And this is, I think, Ryan, you were talking about this. If you
Yeah.
downloaded a chart from Praise Charts, how can I get that out to my team? We have two things at the bottom here. One's called Beam and one's called Connect. Beam basically just beams it out to people. You don't even need to be, you just have to have Wi-Fi on. You don't need an internet connection or anything. Connect is a little bit different, but one of the things we have in our Connect screen is called Profile, which is the button over here on the right. And the profile determines what to do if somebody sends me a chart wirelessly. So for instance, if I'm the guitar player, I can come down here and I could say, I want to turn the capo on.
Hmm.
If I'm the keyboard player, I want to turn that off, right? Maybe if I'm
Right.
a vocalist, I want to turn the chords off,
Yeah. Oh,
right? And so
wow.
you can go through
Yeah.
there and tweak all that. And you can also determine if you want to use your version of the song. So if somebody
Hmm.
sends you a song, instead of using their version, you would use your own version. But if you're using like a text-based chord chart, right, and the person has the capo set, they might be the keys player. They just have to set the capo. They don't have to have it turned on, but the guitar player will get the capoed version. The bass
Yeah.
player won't. The keys won't. You could even do that with transposing instruments. So again, there, if you're playing trumpet, I think that's what, a B flat instrument. I can't
Yeah.
remember off the top
Yeah.
of my head, but so OnSong will actually transpose that. So if they play the notes and the chords that are on the chart, they'll be playing in the correct key.
Wow.
So it takes a little bit of setup, but you can set up your own profile depending on what you're playing, and then
Hmm.
OnSong can handle the differences for you.
So
Yeah.
what I'm seeing is like literally I could be playing the chord chart in the key of G, capo 3, the song's in B flat. It would send my piano player, they could be playing the piano parts in the key of B flat, and my trumpet player also could be playing his song in the key of C, because he
Right.
would be looking for his preferred version of that song. So the complexity that you guys are managing and making so simple is like mind-boggling.
It's a little mind-boggling. Now, I think as we're talking, I'm thinking we probably have some work to do
Yeah.
bringing that together with PDF charts and praise charts,
Okay.
but that's where we're headed. That's the direction that we're
Okay.
pointing,
Yeah.
especially with this team communication bit that we're talking about.
Yeah. Yep. Very good. Uh, okay. We already answered that one. And thank you all these people for asking these questions. This is really great. Can you sort songs by the latest added songs?
Yeah. So if we tap
Okay.
on songs here, down in the lower left corner, actually, I'm not sure you can see that right now because of the way the screen is cropped.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just going
Oh,
to tap it. It's just right out of view. It looks like a little A. And you can see there we have different ways to sort our list. I'm going to tap on added.
yeah.
And then right at the top of the list, it should be What a Beautiful
Boom.
Name and Gratitude, which we just added
Okay.
from PraiseCharts.
Yeah. Love
Yep.
it. That makes sense.
That's it. Yeah.
Next question. I've got custom finale charts. How can I use this? Obviously, you would have
Ooh.
to export from Finale to PDF, but the person is probably suggesting if they have their own PDF music, not from PraiseCharts. Like, is there
Yeah.
any possibilities there?
Oh, there are. They're not as easy.
Okay.
No. So if you have a Mac, one of the easiest ways to do this is through AirDrop. So basically you would open up a Finder window, you would click on AirDrop. Your iPad should appear if it's on the same Wi-Fi network or Wi-Fi is enabled, and you can just drag that PDF file over to it. Because OnSong supports PDF files, it will ask you, iOS or iPad OS will ask you, do you want to open this in OnSong? You say yes, and it imports the chart.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's the easiest way. I mean, we integrate with Dropbox, Google Drive, file sharing, different things like that. But honestly, AirDrop is so quick and so easy.
Yeah.
I would recommend that as long as you have a Mac.
Yeah. Very good. Hilton here is asking a little bit about OnSong. I don't quite understand the question, but I think it would be good to just mention, sorry, I meant the console. I have really enjoyed using the console myself for getting music into OnSong from PraiseCharts. This is in OnSong 2020 because it was like there wasn't this easy just tap and boom, it's there. But can you just talk a little bit about the concept of console and how people can use it in OnSong 2022?
Sure. So one of the things that OnSong does is when it starts up, it actually runs itself as a website on your network. And so if you enable console, it'll tell you to go to a specific web address that you type
Yep.
into any web browser that's on the same network, and you'll get this interface for editing your songs. It kind of looks like OnSong a little bit. You click the song on the left, you have a song editor, which we brought up. It kind of looks like this. Let me bring this up. Kind of looks like this in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And as you type in the console, it will then update what it's going to look like. The chart will look like on the far right side. So you can kind of come in here and type, copy and paste. You can click and drag files or add files into your OnSong library. And as you're making changes and if you hit save, it then saves all the stuff right there from your web browser. It saves it all onto your iPad on the fly. So conceivably, you could be up on stage and you could have somebody in the back, listening. Oh, they need to do that song, and they could upload the song to your iPad over Wi-Fi, essentially, as you're up there, strumming along and not able to use your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, console could be pretty powerful. Obviously, for getting songs into your library, it's on your own computer. But I wanted to show one other thing here, if I could. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see. Now we're probably going to have this little wrap here with the iPad screen. But if I move this, oh wait, I got to find it here first. There it is. Well, I kind of unplugged things and plugged them back in, so this could be the problem. But one of the nice things with OnSong 2022 is we now have it
Ah,
running as a native Mac app as
yes.
well. So this is actually a universal Mac app that you can download from the Mac App Store. It is OnSong, and so it's real easy to add songs. You have your menu bar up there that you can use. And of course, if I click in here, I can also access my praise charts in there as well.
Yeah.
So everything that I have, I don't know what library I'm looking at here, to be honest with you. But it's a little different, obviously, because like you have a trackpad, you don't have a touch screen. But 2-finger swipe, 2-finger touch to right click, all that stuff is there and available as well. So you could think about that if you are interested in OnSong 2022. That same subscription that you pay for the iOS, iPad OS app gives you the Mac app and all the features in
Mm-hmm.
there as well.
All right, so I have a question. We're probably going to make this one of our last questions here, but this is what the thing I wanted to ask is because I downloaded the Mac version, and I also grabbed the version on my iPhone. So typical,
Mm,
Apple techie kind of person. I got my iPhone, I got my iPad, I got my Mac, and so I can imagine this is how it would be for me. Okay, is when I'm at my office, I want to work on my Mac and I want to, set up all my songs, get all that kind of going on. When I go to the stage, I want to bring my iPad. But when I'm at
yeah.
home in bed at night, now, shameless as I'm saying, sometimes I might crack open my iPhone before I go to bed. But I'm like, I just want to review the lyrics and just make sure. So, this is kind of how I would personally use all three devices. The frustrating thing potentially might be, are they all in sync? Do they all have the same
Mhm.
music? Is what I was doing on my Mac now on my iPhone or what? So I wanted to ask you, how could I have my own personal devices in sync running the same app on the same account, multiple
Right.
places? What would you recommend to me?
Well, what I'd recommend, you know, the Lord answers prayers 3 ways, right?
Yes,
And
he
I
does.
would say the wait answer would be my
Okay.
answer on that, because we well, one of the things is, we started building OnSong back before even iCloud existed, before Mobile Me existed, before any of this other, stuff that Apple tried to build with Cloud Sync worked. And so our app is designed to kind of run in its own space.
Mhm.
However, the other thing that's complicated, we talked about technology can do certain things, but we want to make sure we're doing everything legally, right?
Right. Yeah.
And on top of that, we realized that yes, working on your chart in bed with your phone would be one thing, but most people want to then have that available to their entire team. Right. So
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
things that we're building incrementally here is when you sign up, for an account in OnSong, especially the group subscription, you can then become a member of multiple organizations. So if you play,
Right.
at this church on this Sunday and that church on that Sunday, how
Yeah.
do we get all this to synchronize and work? And so we are working on that. And one of the things that we need to make sure first is that is a highly available, highly scalable backend that works globally,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
OnSong's translated in 18 different languages. So we're working on that infrastructure right now, and then our next steps this year, we're working on that entire thing we're calling Cloud Sync. And so the idea is you'll be able to have your songs from Praise Charts that automatically get up into your church library that automatically flow to other users and all
Yeah.
that stuff. That's what we're working on. But it is, it's a little mind bending, especially when you talk
Yeah.
about different users that need things in different keys and all that stuff. It's a giant project. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are working on that. So I would
It's
say
interesting to hear you say that because, we're working on the very same thing in PraiseCharts. This is the world we live in, is recognizing what's unique to the church versus at most other music places. Like, say, if you go to musicnotes.com or, I don't know, Sheet Music Plus, you're just like downloading the music for yourself. But when you come to PraiseCharts or you use OnSong, typically you're thinking about using music in a group setting, whether it's a choir or a band. Like, that's just the nature of church music, is not an individualistic approach to music. So it's a tremendous challenge for guys like Jason and myself as we sort of are mediators between you, the consumers, and the publishers who want their music to be properly protected and the distribution of that music to be, legitimized and stuff like that. So we're trying to come up with like good high-tech solutions that make things very easy and mindless so you can focus on just leading worship on a Sunday morning. But
right.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure it works flawlessly, and it also, like you said, is easy to use. And so it's a pretty big challenge. But like I said, we are taking those incremental steps towards that. And this year, that really is going to be one of our core focuses, is that cloud sync piece of technology that we're building.
Right. Well, I love it. I think that people are not only getting, the all the beauty of OnSong 2022, but we're getting a little foreshadowing of even some future development that's having in PraiseCharts, the future iterations of PraiseCharts and the future iterations of OnSong, and we'll be working in tandem and parallel. And I think we'll be doing more sessions like this where we come out with new stuff. We'll just get on a call together and go through it. I mean, we're all set up. Why not? This is the most fun I've had all week. I love this. So
nice. Now, hopefully you can use OnSong now on stage for whatever you're prepping for Easter services. That's what my hope is. I'm not dressing up like the Easter Bunny though, so you're just gonna have to,
Yeah, awesome. So this is all fully live right now. Literally, it just went live within the last day or two. Is that right?
Yeah, it went live Tuesday, March 22nd at 2:22 p.m.
Oh,
we planned that. That part we planned, but and the Mac app launched just slightly thereafter. We had to kind of wait for Apple to approve all that stuff. They're very picky with certain things. So, but that is now live as well.
Good stuff. Well, all you got to do is go to your app store, click on OnSong. You'll see it show up, OnSong 2022. Click the download. There's no transaction that happens there, and then try it out for free and see where it goes from there. So
yeah, and remember, you can use PraiseCharts with the free app. Check it out.
Yep, very good. Okay, Jason, we have so much more to come between OnSong and PraiseCharts. This is just the beginning. I'm super excited. So thanks for listening in. Thanks for all of you who have asked questions. I've learned a lot. I hope you've learned a lot. And I got OnSong open right now on my iPad. And looking forward to making great use of this, even as I, play my guitar in front of a couple dozen people every now and then as a worship leader. And Jason, I know you also play, and you play bass guitar. Is that right? In our Worship Innovators band?
Yeah, I play bass, keys, drums,
awesome.
Sometimes the hammered dulcimer. We'll see if you can convince me to do that. But
And Worship Innovators, we should say this. They are doing their first live conference in Chicago in October. So go to worshipinnovators.com. Jason and I will both be there, and we'll be talking about this and other stuff. So if you want to surround yourself with more people who think like this, who just want to think and innovate and dream and solve problems and, feet on the ground kind of work, then there's more people like us, and we love being a part of that community. All right?
That's right.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Thanks, Jason. And congratulations to you for a huge update to OnSong. We're excited to be alongside you with you on this ride. See you then.
Awesome.
And see you at the next
Great.
episode of Praise Charts Live.